financial advisor, there's a lot of topics that we talk about pretty regularly: estate planning, insurance, taxes, things like that. But one thing that we talk about quite a bit is creating income. When you stop working or you plan on stop working, you have to replace that paycheck with something, right? And so if you like getting paid, a couple times a month or every month, however often you get paid, what if you could create another retirement paycheck? And so it's good just to talk about the different sources of income that are in retirement. You can save a lot of money during your working years, but if you're not sure, where to take it out from, what consequences will that be to take it out of this bucket versus that bucket, it could require some planning. I would hope that people would plan ahead of time before they retire, so they have everything set up so it's pretty seamless. The paycheck stops when I stop working, and then income from my portfolio or something else will start and pick up where I left off. Basically, it's a lot more stable retirement. The big common question I get, or I should say a concern, is I don't want to run out of money before I run out of life. And so it's okay to run out of assets, I guess, in retirement, but we don't want to run out of income. We always have to pay the bills, right? And so there's things that you can't run out of, like, say Social Security check, a pension, annuities, stuff like that. And so we're going to talk about a little about that today. And there's some alternative income strategies that you could employ during retirement, like oil and gas royalties, rental income if you own property. We're not really going to talk about that today. Those are more alternatives. I just want to focus on the core strategies in this particular video. Social Security. So that is, for most people that work, they're eligible for Social Security benefits. So that's the main topic of discussion when it comes to income. So I just wanted to show you, here's a sample benefit. If you go to the Social Security website, you can download your estimate. It's kind of interesting. You can see all your wages going back to whenever you started working. Mine goes back to age 15, working in a restaurant in Dallas. So kind of interesting to look at how little I made back then. And so this is a typical estimate. Now, this particular person, you'll notice their full retirement age is 67, okay, just because of their age. It could be 66 in so many months, and for a lot of people, it's age 67. So you'll notice that every year you take it early. You could take it as early as 62. That paycheck is going to be smaller. Every year you take it early from your full retirement age, in this case 67, you get a 6.5% discount from full retirement age. And you'll notice that I could also delay Social Security. I could take it as late as 70. That's the maximum I can delay it. From full retirement age of 67 to 70, every year that you wait, you get an 8% increase in that Social Security benefit. So there's a lot of factors go into that decision. The vast majority of Americans will take it early because either they haven't saved enough money for retirement, or they just need it, they want it. I've heard a lot of people skeptical about the Social Security system in general. Hey, I'm going to take it all out as soon as I can get it. They think it's going to run out. A lot of factors go into whether or not when you decide to claim those benefits. Another thing to consider is that if you're a married couple, when one person passes away, the survivor, they keep the larger check and they lose the smaller one. So if you're a typical couple where one person earns more than the other, whoever's got that larger paycheck, it might be in your interest to wait and try to maximize that for that surviving spouse in case you passed away early. So a lot of factors there. A lot of Social Security calculators out there that you can kind of calculate. Hey, at what point, let's say I was considering taking it at 62, I could calculate when is my break even. So just generally speaking, if I was considering taking it early at 62, I would tell you, hey, if you just wait till 67, well, your break even's probably in your early to mid 70s, right? And if I was going to take it at full retirement, and I might say, well, if you wait until 70, you're going to collect more money, and that break-even point is going to be somewhere in your early 80s. So it just depends on your attitude. A lot of people are like, hey, I want to take it now. This is when I'm younger and healthy, and I want to go enjoy that money, and it's totally understandable. But you should just know how those estimates work for sure. Definitely consider the survivor benefits for your spouse. I think that's very, very important. Another source of income for some people might be pensions. And so not a lot of Americans have pensions these days. A lot of companies have canceled their pension programs over the last 20 years in large amounts. And now if you work for the federal government, police, fire department, if you're a teacher, you probably still have a pension program in place, and they're not always the same. And so typically when you're about to retire or you're going to retire, they'll offer you you can take a lump sum payout, or you can take an annuity that's good for the rest of your life. Or perhaps you should definitely consider your survivor benefits. I could take an annuity payment as my pension over my entire lifetime. Or the problem with that is that what if I collected my first paycheck, got hit by a bolt of lightning, it's over. And so then perhaps my spouse is shut out of that. And so you should carefully consider when taking an annuity payment from a pension, because you might want to evaluate those joint and survivor benefits. If you include your spouse, you're probably going to get a little bit less money every month for your payout, but it's good for as long as either one of you are living. So that's a very important consideration, for your family, for your spouse. When you're evaluating that. A good financial advisor can help you evaluate, taking a lump sum versus the annuity payments. What's the better deal? Which one of the options should I choose? Because you'll definitely be offered some choices. Do I do 100% payout, 50% payout, 75%? There's a lot of different choices. It can be confusing, so definitely talk to a financial advisor when you're offered a lump sum versus an annuity payout. We can help you evaluate that for sure. Another thing is annuities. That's a potential source of income for retirement. What if I had, let's say, a Social Security check, I had a pension, but everything's great, but boy, if I just had an extra $1,000 a month, guaranteed for the rest of my life, it'd be a whole lot better. A licensed insurance agent could run a quote for you and say, hey, here's how much it would cost you to generate $1,000 a month for the rest of your life. And so that means you're turning over a lump sum to an insurance company. In return, they're promising to pay you that paycheck for the rest of your life, or for your joint life if you're a married couple. So that could be a good source of income. A good guideline for that might be, hey, if you take a look at your retirement expenses and you break those down, hey, these are my essential expenses, here's my discretionary expenses. Essential expenses should be covered by some form of lifetime income. So if you have your non-negotiable stuff covered by guaranteed income that you cannot run out of, that's a pretty darn good retirement, and that could give you a lot of peace of mind for sure in retirement. All different types of annuities, there's fixed, variable, some track and index. There's all different types of annuities, so a good advisor can help you evaluate that and very carefully whether that's right for you. Another thing to consider when you're creating a reliable retirement paycheck is have a smart withdrawal strategy. You may have heard of the 4% rule. A lot of studies have been done. How much can I take out of my portfolio and theoretically never run out of money? Some people say it's 4%. Some people think it's less. Some people think it's 5% or whatever. And so, you have to choose what fits best for your lifestyle, because if you withdraw too much, theoretically, you could run out of money. It just can't sustain that withdrawal rate. And so if, for example, a 4% rule, I'm taking out 4% per year out of my portfolio, theoretically the portfolio returns 6, 7, 8% over time. And so I never really run out of money. I'm able to sustain that. If it's too much, the portfolio may not be able to keep up with that, net of fees, because you're probably paying some type of fees for your portfolio management. Also, you might want to think about a smart withdrawal strategy would take into consideration taxes. Maybe I take it from a taxable account, or part of it from my IRA, which is taxable as ordinary income. Maybe I withdraw from a Roth IRA later in life. Do I want to maximize my tax savings now, or do I want to maximize what I'm passing out on as a legacy and how those taxes affect them, my heirs, and when I'm not here anymore. And so these are smart withdrawal strategies that you need to discuss during your retirement for sure. Also, adjusting for inflation and market changes. Social Security, we talked about some government pensions have a COLA or a cost of living adjustment. Pensions might not. If you work for a company and you have, let's say your pension's $3,000 a month, that's fixed for the rest of your life. You may think that's great when you retire, but let's talk, 10, 20 years, from then, and how's that working out? The purchasing power is for sure decreased. So that's something you have to keep in mind. I think in general, having a mix of different sources of income is a great way to go. You have a Social Security check. You have perhaps an annuity check. Maybe you have a pension. Also, maybe you have a withdrawal that's just coming out of your portfolio on a monthly basis. And so the more stable income you can have in retirement makes for a very stress-free, gives you a lot of peace of mind in retirement. Just think about that. If I have a checking account and I spend that money throughout the month and it just fills right back up like clockwork the next month, that provides a lot of peace of mind and stability. And so if you'd like to talk about that or you have any questions, my contact information is in the About section of my YouTube channel. And thanks for watching my video.